Yes, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is What's on Jones coming right back at you. I want to talk about this guy named Mick Foley. Yes, I'm pretty sure you heard of Mick Foley. Mick Foley is a guy who been in the wrestling business for years, man. Mick Foley was really one of a kind, man. Like, Mick Foley is a guy who wasn't the best wrestler in the world. Wasn't the best looking wrestler in the world. He didn't have all his teeth. If you look at Mick Foley, he clearly looks like he is not in shape. You know, he just looked like some average guy. It looks like, like an average guy you would probably find in a bar, you know, maybe like a bum that would be on the street. Like, sometimes Mick Foley looks like that. You know, he doesn't buy the most fanciest looking clothes. You know, he'll tell you himself he'll buy some thrift store clothes. Like, he doesn't care. But I can understand that. Hey, Mick Foley, that's probably one of the reasons why Mick Foley still got money. Like, I don't think Mick Foley has money problems. Like, you see that he's not really trying to be in the WWE like that. I don't think Mick Foley has money problems. So he makes sure he saves his money, because he has damn sure made a hell of a lot of it from just being in the wrestling business. I heard he does comedy tours, and his books. He's a best-selling author. He has sold a lot of books, and I think he got at least 3, and they all were best-selling authors. But basically what I'm trying to get to is Mick Foley, to me, is one of a kind. I grew up watching him. I first discovered him as Mankind in the WWE. Yes, he wrestled as Cactus Jack outside the WWE. In WCW, I believe he was Cactus Jack. And in ECW, I think he was Cactus Jack. But Mick Foley was a guy who we all should respect this guy, because he put his body on the line all the time. He gave you everything he had. He clearly wasn't the most athletic wrestler, and yet he still had good matches and would show real good athleticism, here and there. His hardcore matches were really, really entertaining. A phenomenal classic. He still had really, really classic matches. Even though fans would chant things like today to various wrestlers who they feel can't wrestle, they'll chant things like, "You can't wrestle." You didn't chant that at Mick Foley. When it comes to Mick Foley, you probably knew that he wasn't the absolute very best technical wrestler in the world, but you didn't really care, because Mick Foley, he had you, man. Like, this guy, the things that he was doing, the things that he would say, he had you. He captured your mind. He captured your attention. He captured you with his promos, with the things that he said. Sometimes he'll say things that were funny. Sometimes he'll say things that were just absolute crazy. Sometimes he'll say something that was really, really absolutely weird. But it didn't matter. He still captured you. He got you to pay attention to what he was saying and what he was doing. Mick Foley, in his era, this guy was managed to become a main eventer. In an era where guys were taking steroids left and right, Mick Foley, if you look at his physique, you clearly can tell that this guy wasn't taking any steroids. You can clearly tell that he wasn't taking any steroids. As a matter of fact, you'll probably look at him and say, this guy needs to be on steroids because he looks out of shape. I remember he used to sometimes talk about how big his butt looked wearing tights. So, he wasn't in shape. He really, really wasn't in good physical shape. But it didn't matter, because the fans still loved Mick Foley. They loved him as Cactus Jack. They loved him as Dude Love. They loved him as Mankind. I remember his tag team run with The Rock. What they call the Rock and Sock Connection. The Rock and Sock Connection, man, was really, really entertaining to watch. Whether they was wrestling or they was doing promos, segments, things like that. Rock and Sock Connection was really, really entertaining. I don't think that the Rock and Sock Connection I don't think they thought it was going to be that good. Like, it was really, really good and entertaining to watch. Now, they were a good tag team as far as, like I said, like segments. They didn't really have any great matches. They didn't have any great matches. But they were still really entertaining to watch. It was sort of like how how Kane was tag teaming with Daniel Bryan. They didn't really have any great matches either. But they were still entertaining to watch. You know, you listen to them, you're watching them, you know, you're watching the things that they're saying, the things that they're doing. That's what the Rock and Sock connection was. It was really, really good, fun, entertaining to watch. So if they didn't have any classic matches, I'm pretty sure their TV matches were just okay at best, but still, you still remember them. You remember they had the apparently I think it was the highest rating segment in Raw history, as they say. This was around the Monday Night War thing was going on, where The Rock had came out there, and Mick Foley comes out there, and they do this segment called like "This Is Your Life," and he's coming out there bringing out people from The Rock's past. I think it was his coach, his girlfriend, and a couple of other people, and just bringing out people from The Rock's life. And that was apparently the highest rated segment in Raw history. You know, it got a lot of ratings, and this was around, like I said, around the Monday Night War. So the Rock and Sock connection, as I say, the Rock and Sock connection is something I really, really remember. It was really, really good, fun, and entertaining. When he did his Do Love thing, you know, it was like he was trying to be Shawn Michaels a little bit. He was trying to be like Shawn Michaels a little bit. He was supposed to be like this sexy, I don't know what you call it, like hipster, like 70s guy or 60s guy. You know, it's kind of hard for me to explain his character. I ain't seen his character in a while, but it was still entertaining. It was a little corny, but it was still pretty damn entertaining. And he still main evented. He still main evented as that. I believe he was the first hardcore champion in WWE. Back when the WWE was doing hardcore matches, I believe he was the first hardcore champion. And that's where Mick Foley is from. So that's right up his alley. The hardcore stuff, right up his alley. So we've seen some of the best hardcore matches in the WWE with Mick Foley in it. His match with The Rock, you know, the I Quit match, like The Rock and Mick Foley, man, these guys had so much damn chemistry. You know, it was almost like 100% perfect. Their I Quit match, you know, go ahead and type it in, see if you can find it on the internet. I Quit match, The Rock versus Mankind. I believe it was Mankind at the time. Yeah, their I Quit match was classic. I remember I saw it on pay-per-view. It was a classic match. Watch some of his matches with Shane McMahon. You know, they had some classic matches. So he has had a bunch of classic matches, you know, with Randy Orton. They had a really good street fight. Him and Randy Orton had a real good street fight. It was real classic. You know, he was putting guys over. Mick Foley wasn't afraid to put guys over and help them and help elevate them because he knew it wasn't going to hurt him. You know, Mick Foley, like I said, he was just different, man. He wasn't the best wrestler in the world. He wasn't necessarily the best talker in the world. Still good at talking, just wasn't the best at it. He wasn't the best looking wrestler. He wasn't what you would call a star as far as his look. But although he didn't have the look of a star and he wasn't the best wrestler in the world, he still managed to become one of the greatest of all time. Period and point blank. That's exactly what Mick Foley was. He was clearly he's clearly one of the greatest of all time. One of the greatest of all time. He has my respect. I think he should have everybody's respect. You don't do what Mick Foley has done in the pro wrestling business. And if you are a pro wrestling fan, you should respect that because Mick Foley, like I said, in his era, where people was taking steroids because they felt like they needed them, he didn't need to take those things at all. He still managed to become a star. He still managed to main event. He still managed to become a world champion. He's held many titles, the tag team titles, a hardcore title. I believe he was the Intercontinental Champion. He's held titles, big time titles, main evented. So, if you haven't done so, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to share that with you. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. I'm out. Deuce.